Everybody, Wrights Crispy out here with the SJVT family. Nate Skates 182, San Joaquin Jr., San Joaquin Audits, and San Joaquin Valley Transparency.
LAPD training facility. This is where we got the record-breaking audit with Jason Real Camera.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 22 so far. Thank you, bro.
What was your name, sir?
Tom.
My name's Jay. I've never done a physical.
Thanks, man.
This is my first physical.
Okay, right there on film. Get that
That's
on
right,
film.
man.
I'm gonna contact
I truly do appreciate you, man.
Okay, I'm gonna contact
Thank you.
Yeah.
Check this out.
Are you with San Joaquin?
I'm sorry?
Are you with San Joaquin News?
I could be so honored to be with San Joaquin News, but I'm not.
Oh, look at that. In case of emergency, break glass. Look, this leads up to nowhere.
Yeah, I'm sure it actually leads up that way, but
It should, but they probably don't even access that. Imagine all the
probably got ways of accessing it that's not through here. I'm guessing.
sure. I think they just did that shit.
Should I? I
Oh, there he is.
Is that you, Sergeant Tom?
It is. I was hoping. Someone said there were people filming. I said, I'm going to go check.
Yes, sir.
How are you guys?
Good, good.
Oh my God, it's actually Happy New Year. Can I shake? Is it okay? Yeah, good. I'm good, man. It's good to see you. How are you guys?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
ground control to Sergeant Tom. How you doing?
Happy New Year, sir. Happy New Year. See, I knew it. I said, I hope San Joaquin. What's going on?
I've seen you on the interweb.
Every now and again.
Yeah.
Dude, I really would like to do the podcast.
Yeah.
I would. I think it'd be good. I think it'd be beneficial.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
I think we now. However you want to do it. If you want to do it on your platform,
Right.
obviously it'd be great on mine because I'd get all the bumps because you're much more popular than I am. but I would love it because
What's your podcast?
it's called Policing in America.
Policing in
I will sometimes put forth that following orders will hamper an officer's critical thinking ability.
The trust that your culture rests upon, especially if you're a military organization. Marines have to trust one another, as I'm sure police officers do. If you don't trust one another because you're always looking out to see who's doing the wrong thing, then I think you have a problem.
That's fascinating. And some of you know that I have a whole block of work I'm doing on the neuroscience of de-escalation.
And I just did one actually with. I'm doing a whole series this season on media.
Okay.
Media and policing and everything. So this would be perfect to get you in.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do it. I think I'm ready now, man.
You were ready before. And I see your stuff, and I'm telling you, it's. I wish I could just talk to everybody.
Yeah.
I wish I could give everybody some kind of a class, but it's. I mean, look, this is an important function in a democratic society. We need it. Checks and balances. Without accountability, what are we? Right? We turn into a rule by monarchy, a rule by fiat. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Right? I certainly don't want that. Okay. Is he part? Are you on the same?
Well,
like if I see
we
his
are
friend-
both Americans practicing our First Amendment
No,
right.
what
yeah.
I meant was, are you part of his network?
No, I've created
your
my
own
own.
network.
Bang!
Oh.
Bolt Action News Group.
Oh, that's kind of cool. There was another gentleman who was here.
Yeah, I remember him. He's a smaller channel.
Smaller channel.
Yeah, a newer channel.
Yeah, newer channel.
That's where I saw you
Oh, is it
asking to do the podcast on there.
right.
Yeah.
And him and I met. He was supposed to come on my podcast, but he never called me back. I write him constantly, and I don't get anything back. Do you have access to him?
He's listening to you right now.
Is he on right now?
He's on right now. He hears
So
everything you're saying.
He knows me, Sergeant Tom.
Sergeant.
And this time off is precious. We have to do our civic duty.
Absolutely.
And we asked some cops in Bakersfield yesterday. I'll ask you the same question. Do you like working with bad apples?
No.
Then help me help you.
Yes, 100%. 100%. And there's so much we could go on. Interact. I know it sounds cheesy, but I mean, it's a
No,
conceptual
but there
framework.
are good policemen who are doing this job, and they're ordered to do bad work. What do you feel about broken windows policing?
So it has been completely taken and twisted.
Yeah.
This is the problem, right? Like
Where it was for deterrence, now it's for instilling fear and
Right.
disproportionately enforced.
And so what I try to tell is, and I appreciate you even letting me talk about this. What I try to say is it takes a different kind of energy to get the plane up in the air than it does to keep the plane, right? So maybe broken windows took a certain inertia because crime was a certain way. Then we got some kind of control. We got some kind of a control on crime, and it's like, okay, I don't need the same inertia to get the plane up. I now need a different type of energy. So maybe broken windows had a place. Yes.
Now you guys invented SWAT right here.
That's right.
Now, how do you feel? Did you put a copyright on it? Because everybody's SWAT now. There's no SWAT. Everybody's militarized.
It's so interesting you say that. Yeah, I don't know why it's become that way.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a product of the guns in the country, because we got a gun problem. I mean, we have an enormous problem with guns. I'm not saying against Second Amendment, but I mean, just they're everywhere.
No, yeah, and you have to be prepared, right? But
and you see these shootings, and I don't know, is this the result? Like, are we following?
Are you saying that an armed society is not a safe society?
Say again.
Are you saying that an armed society is not a safe society, would you say?
I like the idea of being armed, right? Because if you go back, the whole reason why people in power were able to get there was because of the lack of arms. So I like the idea of an armed society, but I like the idea of like a reasonably, but these are good questions though, right? Because what does it mean to be armed? Does somebody need an AR-15, fully automatic? Or does
that's the
somebody
question. It always goes to that. I had a friend who asked me, what do you want, a bazooka next?
Right.
Well, I have a friend who not only had a bazooka, but every kind of small arms you can imagine. Tripod, all from World War II all the way up to now.
Yeah.
And he had tanks. He had a MiG-25. He had a Huey helicopter. He had all this stuff in working condition.
Wow.
And he made a museum out of it. He's a retired Marine. And he owned this stuff all legally because of our Second Amendment right. Unabridged. It should be unabridged.
Unabridged. Yeah.
But it's a well-regulated militia.
There you go, right? I don't want them just out everywhere, but I would like some kind of regulation, just like any other facets of our society. Regulated to a point that allows people to get it. But how about we train people to that? We make you go take driving tests.
Force training though?
Say again?
Is it like a force training type of thing?
Yeah, you have to show competency.
Well,
right?
But that would mean that you would need to go register. You'd have to go, get some kind of license saying that you've been trained, and that makes people more reluctant to giving up their name and stuff like that.
Now they're on a database.
So, with criminals, they don't care about gun laws. Criminals, they don't care. That's why they're criminals.
They're gonna get a gun anyway.
They're gonna get a gun anyway. Absolutely.
100%.
So the only ones that are gonna be restricted at the end of the day are gonna be law-abiding people, right?
So if I had to go and I had to get a license, what happens when they turn me down? They say, no, I think I'm going to red flag you for some reason. You know what I mean? Because you film police.
We have the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights, and it's U.S. Commission, so it has sort of a government kind of vibe to it, but it's part of civilians who are during their day job. They're real estate agents and they're lawyers and they're construction workers, but they come together to go over these civil right instances. Now there's crime, right? So we have law enforcement, but then there's civil right instances. Like, you have a right to freedom of expression, but do I want a Nazi flag in a window? Like, how do we handle this?
Yeah.
How do we make everyone feel safe and included? And so you have these commissions that deal with these things. I think the old expression is, I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't even know where the answer is because I don't know.
No, what
but
questions
if we get all
to
this
ask,
together, we had, like the last time we had a talk, man, there were so many things that you brought up, and I'm like, these are good questions.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna bring something else up.
Go.
I will no longer be calling you Sergeant Tom.
Okay.
Because Sergeant is a military term.
Okay.
So we gotta start figuring out a way to address you guys. Maybe Assistant Manager Tom.
I
something like that.
You call me Tom.
Assistant to the regional manager.
It's always interesting, and this is one of these things in law enforcement that I think is there are traditions for the sake of tradition. The name is Datro, right? Which is so clinical. Call me Tom.
About that. Well, we'll leave some stuff for the podcast.
I tell you what, I like that you are all so. I'm gonna tell you, man. I like that you're so knowledgeable on the Constitution, on these rights. It is a lot. I feel like the civics in general, the general population, not just us, but the general population doesn't know.
Right.
If you come and you travel from a different country and you want to see the LA Police Academy, you should be free to walk through here. This is all paid for by the public.
It is public funding. You're 100% correct. Now, this just for
my kids don't pay taxes, but they should be able to come in here and see.
By proxy of the parents who do. Now, this is an interesting sort of quasi campus. What you have here is a private organization and the public. So you have the LAPD, but then you have this place called LAPRAC, Los Angeles Police Athletic and Revolver Club. So it's LAPRAC. So it's meshed in together.
When we came last time and we were able to walk through a lot of places. I realized that they put up some signs.
I'm going to tell you what, and for everyone watching, it's because of you. It's because I'm telling everyone's watching. It is strictly because of that incident that now everything is properly identified.
We helped clear some things up.
100%. I love this good stuff. So here's what I'd like to do too. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to see if I could facilitate this. So we do our conversation, we do our talk, however, our forum. In the gym, what we're working on now, and this is, again, a quasi-public-private enterprise, they're making a VR system in there.
Okay.
I would love to have a VR system where cops can get used to talking with First Amendment auditors.
Well,
with
you know
that
what?
do this.
I want them to get used to ignoring us and letting us do our job. We're not going to tell you to do how to do your job. Don't tell us how to record. We don't want to cause a problem. We just want to document it.
We could create 5 scenarios. Hey, in this one, ignore. On this one, because there are some that aren't as professional as you.
And they're trying to get. They're testing your ego.
Yes.
And that's necessary. It's important.
Because you want to show self-control.
We have all different approaches. Right.
Yeah.
What do you think about this, man? And that will lead me to my next question. In a lot of our videos, I began asking cops if they knew the First Amendment of the Constitution. We began to see a pattern that a high percentage in the high 90s don't know it. So that means when I started researching on Google for videos of cops who get sworn in, they're not actually saying it because they don't know it. They're repeating something that somebody else is saying to them. So that, in my opinion, that's a huge embarrassment. Does that make this whole policing a sham? Or should we completely try to fix that and make cops actually know what they're swearing an oath to? And a lot of people don't know how the Constitution works.
Yeah.
These documents, the Bill of Rights, the First Amendment, they mirror our natural rights. Those documents don't give us our rights.
That's right.
Those documents limit the scope of authority that you guys have over the people.
Yes.
That's why those documents are important on our end, and I believe that's why a lot of government officials don't want the people to know it, because there's a lot of propaganda, a lot of stuff out there. Right. Just comply. Just comply. Just do
comply.
it. The propaganda is for us to just comply, right?
Yes.
But at the end of the day,
I'm just coming in so I can hear you.
right. Yeah. At the end of the day, cops will say we don't have to know all the laws. There's just too many of them in the books. But at the same time, they tell us ignorance of the law is no excuse. So you see how this is a double-edged sword coming from?
I could see the argument. The argument's reasonable.
And
I tell a judge, I'm here because of contempt of court. I'm here because a cop doesn't think that your time is precious enough to be spent on actual criminals and wants to waste it with me in here who is not a criminal. That's contempt.
Is it a waste of time to teach cops the actual oath that they swore? Because
valuable.
That leads me to my...
But since we had that talk, I had conversations with other people and said, hey man, these guys bring up good ideas. And he alluded to me, he said, ask your police officers, I swear to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of California, right? And it doesn't say anything about enforcing laws. It doesn't say anything about getting guns off the street. It doesn't say that, right? I swear to uphold and defend. And then you ask cops, so then just tell me, but get ready because we do this on a podcast. What does Article 1 say? And when I tell you 100% don't know, I'm not exaggerating.
Right.
When it was asked to me, and I didn't know, I said, that's embarrassing, right? That's embarrassing. Like, how don't I know this? Because it was never impressed upon me.
Because you're teachable. Some of these badge-heavy hotheads are not teachable, and they're never going to learn. No matter how much we drill it into them, they just want to go out there because it attracts a certain personality.
How do you think
this
we
job.
got here? How do you think we got here to this state where the people don't know it and the cops are not really being trained? You think it was by design or by accident?
I think it's an unintended consequence of a slow erosion.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't happen overnight, right? It was kind of like, we're going to go right here, we're going to go right here. And after 30 years, we're all the way over there. Why do we get called for mental health? Yeah. I'm not trying to jump ship or
you shouldn't.
But I mean,
you shouldn't.
Right?
And trigger somebody.
Sudden,
you did a great video on that.
We're the main people going to these things. And that was a slow erosion. Because there was a time when we would say, that's not a police matter. And all our techniques of calibrated questions and active listening might not work with somebody who's experiencing a true mental crisis.
And then triggered by a uniform and a badge and a gun, you know?
And we're taught command presence.
Yeah.
And we're taught these things that are contradicting to human interaction.
Yeah.
Nobody wants command presence. When you and I are talking, we want nice tone. We want respectful dialogue.
Our friend here did a video on a veteran who was visited But just as a malicious retaliatory move by the VA, he pissed somebody off over there, and they sent the cops to him. And the cops were uniformed and armed. Neither one of them were veterans themselves. And then the home health person or whatever who came with them.
There's 2 Orange County Sheriff deputies, and they came in front of the therapist that was behind them. And so the guy's like,
you can't just sprinkle in a therapist there and make it okay. It doesn't work.
What's going on? And so the therapist is trying to talk to this guy and through his doorway with these 2 deputies standing in front of him. And then he's very standoffish because he's like, well, I have 2 guys with guns right here on my front door.
Right.
So why would I even open up to you if that's a possibility?
And we don't see that.
Yeah.
Contrary to some popular belief, we actually want to be a part of the solution, not the problem.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And it takes these kinds of conversations.
Yes. This is
Let
I
go of
try
the
to teach
ego.
These cops. Look at, and I used a visual, right? So this is me, and that's something I don't know. Once I learn something and I'm on the other side, I'm a better version of myself. Even if it's just a minute better or a 1% better.
Yeah.
This person here who now knows that is just a little bit better.
Of course not.
Right.
But I do pay your paycheck. And you say, oh, I pay taxes too. But imagine this analogy. A pickup truck is broken down. We're pushing on the back of this truck.
Yeah.
And you're in the truck bed pushing on the back window saying, I got this. I got this.
Interesting.
That's you're paying taxes with our taxes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And
That's
of course,
interesting,
if
right?
you have
Because you're actually not pushing
a 2-income household, that's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you're both police officers, you're both public servants. That's our money that is running their whole life and
analogy.
everything.
I've never heard that analogy.
And take that gift and appreciate it and understand what you've been charged to do. Your duty is to uphold our rights.
100%.
We have rights. You have
First
duties.
and foremost, not make the arrest.
Yeah.
Make sure your rights are not violated. That's because if I can't do that, there is no justice, right? There is no justice. I want to talk about this too. So you think about saving it or holding it. But the idea, I had another thought.
Did you guys ever have that former Special Forces guy come in here and tell you, oh, you got to make sure that you go home at the end of the day,
So
you got to kill grandma?
Grossman?
I think that's his name,
Yeah, we haven't.
Okay, good.
I
Keep
think
it that
there's
way.
a book like On Killing.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
whatnot.
It's like
I agree. I'm not a big fan. I know who he is, and I know who he is in the world, and that's a military mindset.
I have more questions than answers.
You and me both.
Yeah.
You and me both.
We're trying to figure it out as we go.
Has it gotten any? There's a couple videos I see where it'll be like best cop ever kind of thing. Would you say it's like 1 good to 5 that give you a hard time, or are we starting to
5?
like when
1,000?
someone is engaged with you, like I am, or like there was a girl I think that was on there. The caption was best cop
There's
ever.
a few good apples, Tom.
Really?
A few good apples. If there was a few bad apples, why is it so hard for you good apples to get rid of them?
What was I gonna say was that when we do interact with good officers, it's also very rare. Like there's an abundance of videos of bad officers all over YouTube, and it's like we're trying to change the perception, but it's like
we know, and I see that, and I think, my goodness, we're making it harder on ourselves.
Breaking records.
Right. Well, I'm having a nice time with you guys. I do have to get back to work, unfortunately. Is there anything I can do for you before I go?
No, like you were saying, we are looking for the good ones. I always say, let the stars shine and the snowflakes melt.
We don't screen people in, right? If you want to get into Harvard, they're pushing everybody out, and they're looking for the best.
Right.
Yeah.
Here in the department, we're screening people out, which is different. Oh, here's a reason why I shouldn't take you. Here's a reason why I shouldn't take you. Here's a reason. Okay, so you have no reasons why I shouldn't take you, so I'm just going to take you. Like we don't look for the best. We look for reasons.
You've never been
get people
caught
out.
doing anything wrong? You're our kind of guy.
Oh, that's a funny way to look at it, right?
Go fight crime, man.
Hey, that's my OT. Call me Wonder Woman. Can I? It's good to see you, and I'm gonna email you. Thank you. It's good to see you. It's nice to meet you.
You too, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, you as well.
Stay safe.
Thank you. Keep in touch. Okay, I'm gonna email you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. That was great. Hey, we got to get rid of this thing, man. Find Assistant Manager Tom. We got to get rid of this thing. Get rid of that flag.
Which one?
The Blue Lives Matter flag?
Yeah. I know that's an issue right now. So.
Yeah, it was banned. Yeah. We have a perfectly good red, white, and blue one that we all stand under, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for bringing
Yeah, man.
it up.
The no admittance employees only. The penal code on that one is for private property.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that work? Did they make that area?
So this is also this quasi relationship because the range is owned by LAPRAC, which is just so fascinating. But like the brick and mortar was owned by LAPD. It's again, it is this weird convoluted relationship where like the pool is owned by LAPRAC, but the gate to get into the pool is owned by LAPD. I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they drew these. What is it? Gerrymander?
Right,
like,
right.
I have
But
no
go
idea.
talk to the attorney, whoever you need to talk to. Ask him about that. One thing I pride myself on is my revisits, and I don't want to see that next
So tell
time.
me which one.
Right on the other side of that thing that says bonus range, there's a big, huge 3x4, 5.
So I'll take care of that. And then what's the penal code so I know which one?
Oh, on here, 41.24.
Okay, and so that one designates. Do you want me to follow up on that with the city attorney?
Yes, please. And the flag.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll take pictures of these so that when you have me on the show, I can give you follow.
Right on. Real changes being made. That's awesome, man.
So I'm gonna take a picture of this, and I'm gonna take a picture of this, and then I can follow up with you guys.
Yeah, you're with us, but with everybody watching this too, man. Thank you.
Oh, of course.
That's who you're talking to right now, man. We appreciate it.
Absolutely, I appreciate you guys. Hello, young lady.
How are you?
Good. Congratulations on sergeant. I didn't know. Good for you.
Assistant manager.
Assistant. Why?
Hey. In the belly of the beast.
Officer Oakley's and porn stash.
You know, go like this. No, you're carrying the rifle. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Florida. Hell yeah. Shout out to the San Joaquin fans, Main Skates.
I'm so proud to be here. Before I even started auditing, I saw all you guys, and I was like, man, I want to hang out with those guys and laugh with them. Laugh at these people with them. That one fire captain that tried to ID you, that shit had me cracking up, man. So I'm proud to be here. Thanks. Thanks for your awesome hospitality, man.
Sure.